Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for round 16 of the season for the Russian Grand Prix. Today we arrive here, and as you can see on screen, we have a chance of rain in qualifying. Other than that, it's going to be a relatively straightforward weekend with no major rain showers expected. If you guys missed the last race at Singapore, guys, please go watch the video. It's one of the craziest races of the season. It'll be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Before we jump into any further spoilers, go watch that and get up to speed as to what happened in that last race, because it was a wet to dry to wet race. It was an absolute madness. But in terms of this one, we do have a major chassis upgrade on the car this weekend, and that's going to help us out massively because we're actually going to take a massive step towards the top three teams. Such a big step, in fact, I could maybe say the top three has now become a top four. And overall, if you look at the grid from top to bottom, there's no real separation now. It's just we're all really close. It's just a real good mix. And it's good to see, we've got Williams back up to being a top team again, and in shades of, 2014 with the V6s when they first came in. It was Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, and also Williams as the top four teams. And it's good to see that we are back up there. And all our hard work this season has paid off with the R&D, which is fantastic. And straight away, I could feel in practice, I used the used power unit, the worn out one in practice, and even then that was still competitive. And I could tell straight away the car had some good one-lap pace around here, which was really encouraging. And we hit all of our practice program targets, and I felt confident because going to qualifying, we are going to take on some new components for the ICE, the MGUH, and also the turbocharger. So if you combine those three things together, combined with our good one-lap pace and overall general consistency around here, I'm very happy with the balance of the car. I think we've got a good chance this weekend of getting a good race under our belt, and it'd be great for the championship to try and secure that 6th place. If we could beat Gasly this weekend around here, that'd be a fantastic achievement if we could pull that off. But you can see currently on screen there are most teams getting ready for qualifying. There is Kimi Räikkönen, the man who picked up a podium in the last race for McLaren. Absolutely insane result for him. But overall we're going to jump into things here in Q1, and we're going to go for 2 runs in this session as we always do, and we're going to try our best. We are running 110% AI once again this weekend, guys, for this race. So here we go then, jumping into Q1. Let's see how we get along, and hopefully it's a smooth session. And I think we've got the pace to at least get Q2 based on qualifying and practice simulations. When we did the qualifying simulation in practice, we actually finished first in practice, but a lot of the big boys hadn't run the soft tyre, which was quite interesting. But either way, I feel confident that we do have some good pace, and I think we can make it happen here. So straight away, we're going to run a board from our best lap in Q1, and we're going to see where this puts us, amongst the shuffle, amongst the cars, and we're going to see where we end up. So straight away, flat out through 1, of course, there's never really a corner. Down towards turn 2, looking at the 100-meter board on the left-hand side, as your reference, down to 3rd gear for turn 2, really attack the curbs, get the power smoothly, and on the power, flat out through turn 3. And it's a long, winding left as we get ready for turn 4. You're bringing the car to the left-hand side, brake as the curve appears on the left, throw the car in, and really trying to attack that inside curve and take a lot of apex. And overall, that's the story of Sochi. You want to really attack the curbs around here because they're so flat, and you can really race on them, especially the inside curb. So it's all about attacking those and making up the lap time as we go well into sector 2 now. Again, attacking the inside curb, letting the car run wide on the exit onto the AstroTurf. And then again, another double apex left here, using all the curbing on the entry and exit. And now braking as the DRS detection line appears on track for your reference into this next 90-degree right. And now onto the back straight, showcasing our horsepower. We had very good straight line speed in practice, really strong speed traps, which was good to see. And through sector 2, we're only a fraction down, 2.5 tenths on Lewis, which is pretty damn good as we go into this sort of right left chicane underneath the bridge. And sector 3 was the place where I was losing a little bit of time to the AI, more than any other sector, so I knew I had to kind of tighten up a little bit and sharpen up a little bit through the sector to make sure that we find some more pace. And overall, it's been pretty nice and tidy so far as we go into the final couple of corners here. Going to throw the car in, and to be fair, quite lenient there. I could have taken a lot more inside curb as when I go to the final corner, locking up a little bit and missing my apex slightly across the line. And we go P7 with only 4 tenths off the pace. That is a strong lap, a 29.7. That's pretty damn good. And I didn't have to go again. I was monitoring the session, and we was comfortably through. And Robert Kubica actually got knocked out there in P16, but overall we was comfortably through. But the grid is very close. You can see there the top 15 covered by 7 tenths of a second. It was really competitive, but luckily for us, we got in, and that lap was good enough. So overall, good success, no complaints as we move into Q2. And we're going to go for the same thing again. We're going to use a fresh set of rubber, 10 minutes to go, just like Q1, and we're going to try and set a lap time here. So important to get a good exit out of the final corner, as always, and really make sure you get a clean bed traction, because that's going to give you a lot more straight line speed on the straight. As we now open up the DRS, flat out through 1, And this lap is important because I feel like there could be some rain in the air. It's getting a little bit darker, so I want to make sure I make this lap count. The radio, my Jeff on the radio did say there would be a chance of rain possibly, as you guys saw also at the start of the video. So it's important to make this lap count just in case we don't get a second attempt. So I've got to try and be good here as we go flat out through 3. Now down towards turn 4, braking as the curve appears once again, attacking the apex on the inside, smoothing on the power, and that is a nice first sector so far as we slow the car down for turn 5. Again, taking a nice bit of inside curve, using third gear to kind of rotate the car a little bit more and pick up some more front end turning. So we now go on the power briefly and then back on the brakes again for 6. Easy on the power again as we now go through the double lefts here. Once again, it's really making sure you use all the track layout on the exit there and all that painted runoff. And now into the final corner of sector 2, you will, and onto the back straight. DRS open along the back straight and use overtake mode to really stretch your top speed trap here on this back straight as we now across the second sector. We're still a 10th down here, so this is a better lap in Q2. Only a bit down on Verstappen as we lock up a little bit as Leclerc sets the pace with a 29.3. We're now going through the little right-left chicane and now into a left-right, off-cambered left followed by a slightly cambered right. And this one is all about getting the exit here. Really, really important. Use all the track on the left-hand side and get as close as you possibly can to the wall. Now to the penultimate corner, throwing the inside, curbing a little bit more there, getting a bit more inside curb. And now the final corner, locking up again, but this time picking up the apex and across the line. And it's 3/10 off Leclerc's lap with a 29.6. So a 1/10 of a second improvement on our Q1 lap. And it's good enough for P7, which is pretty damn good. Eventually we got pushed down to 8th place, but with 6.5 minutes to go, I was on my in lap, and you can see on the screen a couple of droplets are just starting to fall down here, and it was actually earlier than I expected, and earlier than everybody anticipated, so the rain was starting to come down here, and I think it's going to put an end to the AI improving, because as you can see at the moment, everybody's in the garage, and that last car, the Racing Point, is pitting in, so no one's hitting the track, and the rain is starting to come down here at Russia, and nothing else is going to change. So luckily for us, that lap was good enough, and I took it very easy on the out lap and the in lap, so they're going to be a good set of tyres for the race, and we are going to get through into a rare Q3 in 8th place, and it was quite comfortably by 3/10 of a second. So overall, no complaints. The car's working fantastically well, and it's all hooked up around here as we get ourselves in a Q3 around Sochi with Leclerc setting the pace by 29.3. So overall, decent stuff from us as we now move into said Q3 session. And for this one I did go for 2 runs because I had 2 sets of tyres to use and the rain didn't come down anymore, so we went out, and my first lap it felt okay, but it felt better, but for some reason it didn't reflect into lap time, and we only did a 1 minute 30.0, so very weird lap there. It felt good, but just what didn't translate into lap time. So overall we go again. I've got 1 more set of tyres, and this lap is going to be the all or nothing lap. So here we go then, at the final corner, on the power nice and early, and we get a nice bit of traction onto the pit straight as we open up DRS and make our way down towards turn 2. So far we are up on the Delta, and Sergio Perez actually is sitting on provisional pole in the Racing Point as we brake at the 100 metre board, throwing the car in, a little bit late on the brakes there. I just missed my apex slightly for turn 2, but we just get away with it and pick up a decent exit as we go flat out through 3. As the checker flag drops, and I'm the last car across the line, so we're going to have the best track conditions as we throw the car into turn 4. Again, missing the apex a little bit there, but we just about get away with it, and somehow I didn't get an invalidation on the exit of that corner. Now down towards turn 5, throwing the car in, picking up the inside curb, and so far a 10th of a second down on Perez through the first sector, but we are improving massively here. 3/10 up almost as we go through this long right, pushing the limits of the track limits there and getting onto the very, very edge of the racetrack, and we're 4/10 up, but this is a fantastic lap as we brake at the detection line there, really throwing the car in, a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but we just about catch it, and we pick up the DRS using the overtake mode on the back straight, and we're 4.5 up here with 1 more sector to go as Hamilton sets the new benchmark with a 28.8, and we're 3/10 down on that as we throw the car into the chicane here. First of all the right and then the left. I know I have to improve through here. This is where I'm losing the lap time, so I'm really giving it everything through this final sector, making sure that I leave no time on the table, and so far it's working out beautifully as we're nearly 8/10 up here on my previous best, now down to 7/10 as we get a poor exit. But now to the final couple of corners, again throwing the car in, giving it everything. The final corner really picking up the apex and across the line, and it is a 7.5 improvement, and we actually set a 29.2, which would have given us first place in Q2, but the big boys, the top 6, picked up the pace, and they showed their true pace and flexed their muscles. We did them at 29.2 overall though, a very decent lap, and that was 4/10 quicker than our Q2 lap. So overall we maximised it beautifully. That last lap in Q3 was fantastic, and we out-qualified Perez, Gasly, Magnussen and also Carlos Sainz, and we fall short of the big team. So overall a good quality. We beat our rival Pierre Gasly, so no complaints on my end, and that was an absolutely perfect Q3, and the car was on rails, and that's exactly what I like, and it was absolutely unreal. Such a good lap, really enjoyed it. But we're now going to move into the race for round 16 of the season for the Russian Grand Prix. Let's try and score some points.
Welcome one and all to the Russian Grand Prix. We're just a stone's throw from the Georgian border here at Sochi as we get ready to begin the race that served up an absolute cracker back in 2015. A last lap collision between Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas sparked controversy in that race, so let's hope the racing is just as tight today. Built on the shores of the Black Sea, the Sochi Autodrom is a 3.6-mile tour around some of the venues built for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Close barriers may make overtakes more challenging, but with 56% of the lap taken absolutely flat out, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fitting arena then to do battle at the pinnacle of motorsport. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. Everything's on the line here today and the title hangs in the balance. So how do you think they'll be coping with all that pressure?
I think as long as they keep their mind on the task and not its historical significance, they'll be just fine. This is a race just like any other. You do the best you can and accept that sometimes things are going to happen outside of your control. If they can approach today with that attitude, the pressure shouldn't be a problem.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Martinez, Sergio Perez and Vettel. They've taken a grid penalty. Gasly, Sainz, Ricciardo and Daniel Kvyat. Albon, Giovinazzi, Charles Leclerc and Kubica. Norris, Hülkenberg, Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen. Stroll and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for the Russian Grand Prix, and good news, we've been promoted up to P4 onto the second row because of penalties, so really good news for us. Both Ferraris are behind us, and we've got Mercedes on pole, we've got Verstappen in front, and then another Mercedes to our left-hand side, so overall, it's looking pretty damn good, and we've got a fantastic view of the first corner, and with the slipstream, we might have a chance here of picking something up if we get a good start, so let's see how it pans out. In terms of strategy, it's fairly straightforward here, one stop with the soft tyres onto the mediums, and obviously we qualified in Q2 on the soft, so we don't have a choice there. And in terms of the fuel, we are going to run 0.5 more, not much. The car's very fuel efficient now, which is good news. And I'm only going to use that little bit of fuel for attacking and defending. So overall, it should be straightforward. There's no chance of rain, so it's going to be a pretty boring race in terms of predictability. But hopefully, we can make it a little bit more exciting and potentially challenge for maybe even a podium here today. I'm not sure what the pace is like. I'm not sure how much we can push this, but we'll see how we get on. Traditionally in Russia, my pace has been better over one lap rather than race pace, whereas every other track I'm better at race pace. So I want to try and right that wrong and try and improve my race pace here today. And if there's an opportunity to do so, it's going to be now, because we've got a massive chance here to pick something up really big in this race. So let's jump into it and let's see how we get on. It's time for round 16 for the Russian Grand Prix. Here we go then. The 5 red lights come on for the Russian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. We drop the clutch. Rich mix and overtaking gauge. Verstappen gets alongside Hamilton. We've got the toe here on Bottas. I think it's that 4 wide. I'm going to back out. I'm going to be sensible. Into turn 2. Verstappen takes the lead. Hamilton loses out. Can we get past Lewis? We're on the outside line here. I'm using the slipstream. Side by side with the multiple time world champion, the current world championship leader. We are going to go down the inside though on the brakes and pick up the position. And there we go, up to 3rd place. Verstappen getting away the best in the Red Bull and taking 1st place, and we're into a podium position and into P3 in this race early on. That was a good start from us. When it mattered, we got the good start. Let's see if we can keep pace. If I can keep pace with Verstappen and Bottas, I'll be very impressed, and I'll be looking forward to the rest of the race, because we're already in a podium position. Obviously Hamilton's going to be bloody quick and he's going to be wanting to get past straight away, so we need to be on top of our game here and really make sure we're good. The good thing for us is our top end speed, like I mentioned before in qualifying and practice, is very strong, so that's going to carry us in good stead for the race, I think, and it could be a key factor. This final sector where I struggle a little bit. The Williams still lacks a bit of downforce, so we might have to work on that in this race, but we can make up for it elsewhere. At the minute, I like this. Onto lap 2. Verstappen sets the pace, but we have got pace here. I think this is genuine. Normally the AI run their engines maxed out on lap 1 and we've kept up. Normally we drop off. So this is an encouraging sign. I'm just hoping my tyres hold on also. I don't have no overheating issues. But so far, so good. Okay, end of lap 2. Bottas seems to have the pace over Verstappen. And the good thing is we've managed to stay within range as DRS will now be available on this lap. So we've done our bit.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
And that's good for us because we can now start to save fuel a little bit and manage the ERS and use it whenever we need to. As Verstappen and Bottas will now commence battle, we really close in on these guys, so this is our opportunity now. If we time this right, we could pick up a couple of places here, and I really think we can win this race. This is very encouraging so far. Bottas has had a bit of a scruffy middle sector, and we are right in his gearbox. He's dropped off from Verstappen a bit. He still has his DRS, of course, but we are within range here. Let's test out our top speed. Can we get the Mercedes? We are gaining here. Can we get past Valtteri Bottas? Into the brake zone we go. On the brakes, very late. Bottas goes around the outside and hangs on. He will hold on to the position for now. We're on the switchback. I'm going to look underneath, but there's no way past. Bottas goes defensive. Switch back again here. Can we get it? Power down. Bottas gets good traction down towards the final corner, or the penultimate corner, should I say. Through there, nice and easy. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to commit to the final corner because I want it the DRS, so we'll just sit behind Bottas here. Bottas doesn't have DRS now. Here we go, we've got DRS, we're gaining. We're going to go down the inside at turn 1 and take second place from Bottas. Hamilton's lurking, so we've got to stay on top of our game here into the brake zone. And there we go, we make it stick. Up to P2. Let's turn the engine up here and get after Verstappen. I want to get back within his DRS. But lap 4, we're in second place. We've got past the Mercedes cars. We're dreamland at the minute. We're absolutely in dreamland. Pushing really hard here to get back within Verstappen's DRS. We're on for a good lap. We do set the fast lap of the race. And we have got DRS on Verstappen. So there we go. Race pace is genuine. I am pushing to the absolute limit. But the race pace is there. This is our race to win. We can do this. We've dropped Hamilton. We've completely dropped him. He's well out of our DRS, and we're now all over Verstappen. This is a good chance for me to get some fuel and DRS back on target whilst following him. And that way I can use it to pull away. But we're looking good here. I'm going to have a couple of laps, I think. I'm just going to sit behind and try and save things a little bit. Charge up a little bit, and then we'll make an attack nearer to the pit stop window, I think. Okay, Hamilton's picking up the pace. He's starting to catch up again, so I'm going to try and go for this move on the pit straight. I want to try and make some separation, so I want to get past Verstappen, and I don't want to give Lewis any chance because I know he won't give up until the bitter end, and he might even be quicker later on the mediums. We just don't know. So I'm going to make an effort now to try and get past Verstappen because Hamilton's going to get back within range, and that's what I don't want. I want him to be stuck behind Verstappen for a little while because he just cruised past Bottas, and that's far from ideal. We don't get a good exit though, unfortunately. Hamilton is out of DRS range still. The good thing is though, our top speed is fantastic, and look how we gain on the Red Bull here. I'm not close enough right now, so I'm not going to commit just yet. But Verstappen does go defensive, surprisingly. We might get the run here. Underneath at turn 3. Oh yes, easy move. Verstappen struggling for straight line speed, and we take first place. That was a breeze. Where's this pace come from? I have no idea, but it's legit. And we are flying. Alright, let's try and string away now. I've got to try and open up a 1 second gap. That's the hard bit. Let's see if we have the pace to drop Verstappen. This would be fantastic for my championship opportunity of trying to get that 6th place. And maybe even catch the Ferraris. You never know, that could still happen. That's still on the cards. Verstappen's going to be on my rear end here, so I've got to get a good exit. Turn the engine up. This is why I saved a little bit of fuel in the RS, just to make sure I could compete on the straight. Stay in front of Verstappen. He's regaining on DRS, but nowhere near close enough, so we remain in front. Oh, that's a heavy lock up. Alright, come on, I've got to stop these mistakes. I've got to try and pull away here. Look at the queue that's formed up behind Verstappen. That's going to kick off soon, and that's going to be my chance to really open up a gap. We've slowly dropped Verstappen. I think he still has DRS on me on this straight, but we are pulling away, and now Hamilton's going to put a move on him, I think. Oh, I've got to stop doing that lock up. That's a really bad one to make because I'm losing a lot of time as Hamilton is battling with Verstappen here. Let's try and open up a gap. This is my chance to pull away. But the tyres feel like they're starting to go already. I'm struggling with my tyres. All that pushing in the first part of the race is starting to take its toll now. Verstappen stayed within DRS and he's close enough, but not that close to make a move, so I should be okay here. My straight line speed is so good. But my front left is overheating a bit. I'm struggling with that to keep it under control. But that's the consequence, that's the price you pay for pushing so hard in the first part of the race. If we just get to the pit stops, I know I'll be okay. I need to get to the pit stop in first place. Here comes Max. He's got the run on me this time. He's going to go to the left hand side. He managed to squeeze in. And he makes the move. And retakes first place. For now. Can I follow him? Do I have the pace? Let's find out. Important to not fall through the field now. I've got to try and maintain pace through this worn rubber. Hopefully behind Max I can save some fuel in the RS because I'm pretty damn low. And I'm struggling to maintain it. I used it all up trying to pull away. I think we're pitting in next lap anyway, so I just got to hold on for one lap.
We're going to box this lap. Push hard on the in lap.
Right then, here we go. Can we re-challenge Max? Possibly. But I think he's turned his own engine up a little bit this time. Because he's definitely not as slow as he was before. Looks like Max is going for a very strong in lap here, so we need to respond. Let's try and keep him in our sights. Right then, we're in the slipstream of Verstappen, that's good enough. We're going to turn the engine right down now.
Don't forget, box this lap.
Try and save as much fuel in the RS as we can for after the pit stops. Looks like everyone's going to pit in. Could be a little bit of a traffic jam in the pit lane, but luckily we've got the last pit box, which always helps. So here we go then. Into the pit lane we go. Verstappen stays out, I think. Interesting. So Gasly will probably pit in, so we're going to get a chance to undercut Verstappen here. Interesting strategy from Red Bull. Hamilton does pit in behind us though, Bottas stays out, so here we go. All we need is a pretty straightforward stop and we'll be okay. No dramas please, and hopefully the boys do their usual work. Hamilton will get a clean stop also, which is important to note. He's already done it, so here we go. Pressure's on boys.
Go, exit now. We're racing on the exit. Complete, go now.
Perfect, 1.8. Away we go.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
And we rejoin in front of Lewis. There is some cars in the pit straight here. We could put some cars between myself and Lewis. Here we go. Look at this. There's going to be 3 cars between me and Lewis. Just in that little bit of space. And it's 2 Renaults and a Haas. So I'm going to have a massive chance here on this outlap to stretch away from Hamilton. Just the luck we needed. Let's push on this outlap because we've got undercut Verstappen as well. This is a massive opportunity for us to get something. And all those cars behind are on medium, so they're not going to stop anytime soon. So Hamilton is going to have to overtake them on track. Let's push on. As we pick up our first track extension of the race there, pushing a little bit too much there. Okay, hopefully both of these guys will pit in now, and that will release me into clean air. As Robert pits.
Robert is coming in for his stop.
There we go. Right then, lots of cars in the pit lane. Let's see. As we get up to speed. There's Verstappen leaving the pit exit now. It's going to be close because he's already up to full speed. There he is. We're a bit far back. I'm going to try and get the slipstream, but Verstappen has stayed in front, so the undercut hasn't worked. But I am on nice toasty tyres as we pick up a second track extension there. The grip just catching me out. I turn in and the car just gripped up, but we are on the toe. Let's try and follow Verstappen for a few laps and then we'll try and make something happen. But it's important for now just to follow the slipstream and try and save some fuel in the RS to attack with. And not just that, but also to then pull away with. Right, Mr. Giovinazzi pits. The Toro Rosso in front of us is staying out for a little bit longer. I can't drop out of DRS. It's important to stay within a second of Verstappen. I think if I drop out of DRS, I might lose the race. So I've got to pick up the pace a little bit and get a bit closer to Max. And I'm also on my final warning now for track corner cuts and extensions, so I've got to be careful with that as well. The 2 Toro Rossos are still 1-2 and they're staying out, and they've given Verstappen DRS this time round. So even more reason to pick up the pace this lap. As Verstappen opens up the rear flap and gets DRS. Bottas isn't keeping up. He's 3.1 behind. The gap is actually growing a little bit. Right then, here we go. Max is probably going to pass the Toro Rosso here. And that might cost us some time. He's going to put a car in between myself and him, which is not ideal. Or will he? He's not actually close enough to be fair. He's struggling to close the gap. He doesn't get past, surprisingly, so that's a good chance for me to save a little bit more fuel in the RS. And this could be the moment we try to strike, using the Toro Rosso, who will probably pit this lap. If not, then it's definitely the next one, as a way to get past and use Red Bull's sister team against them, pretty much. Yeah, the lead Toro Rosso pits, I believe, but the second one stays out, so here we go. Here's the opportunity. Verstappen will have DRS, but I'm going to get the double slipstream. Let's get a good exit. That was pretty decent. We now get DRS. Come on. We're gaining. Getting the toe all the way down to the first corner, or the second corner. Down the inside, we can't get the double, but we do get past the Toro Rosso and stay on Verstappen's tail, which was absolutely critical. So we can follow Verstappen here. That's good news for us. We'll try and pass him soon though, while the tyres are still fresh. I can make a difference and pull away. Right then, through the final corner. A little bit far back here, but can I get a pass on Max? It depends what engine mode he's in. I think we have got the run on him here, but we won't get close enough, so I'm going to turn the engine down. Again, he goes defensive. Could be a carbon copy of the move we've done before, although this time we're not as close. I'll try to get the traction down. Engine turn up here as we go through turn 3. I'm gaining on him. Down the inside, he locks up. That's the invitation. And there we go. P1. Now, can we stay in front? That's going to be the true question. I still have the fast lap of the race. That still belongs to me, surprisingly, so that's good news. But let's see, we have the pace to drop Verstappen here. Right then, gap is 6/10. He is within DRS range. But he seems to be running a pretty average engine mode here, so I might have a chance to pull away. So let's push on this lap. This is a big lap for us. Oh, Sebastian Vettel again, for the second race in succession, is out of the race. Meanwhile though, Verstappen is not done. He's running high engine mode. He's got good straight line speed now, and he's going to challenge into turn 2. We're going to have to defend the inside, show him the long way around. I'm hot on the brakes, but we keep it slowed down to the apex, and we stay in front for at least another lap as we get into the closing stages of the Grand Prix now. Mercedes is starting to catch up a little bit, but I'm having to turn the pace down because I need to save fuel in the RS. I can't do much about it, and Verstappen can't get past, which is good. The Mercedes are gaining. They're pushing on with it now. That might be my golden ticket. If the Mercedes catch up and battle with Verstappen, that might be my chance to open up the gap and pull away definitively. Bit of a lock up there. That's not going to help. I'm going to take a tactical overtake on this one. I'll let Verstappen go by. Hopefully I can follow him, and I'll try and come back at him later on in the race, because staying out in front, I can't make the difference. I can't pull away, and the Mercedes cars are gaining, so we kind of have to act like a team, kind of. Still not committing to anything. Patience is required. Lap 26 is the one I want to do it on, so I give myself an extra lap in case it doesn't work off first time. But I want to get one more lap of saving in, so then when I overtake him I can just floor it in rich mix to the finish and not have to worry about fuel or ERS. Right then, trying to get close to Verstappen.
Okay, some information on Bottas. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
That takes the pressure off from behind. We don't really care about that too much. We're focused on Verstappen here. With 2 laps to go, let's try and make the overtake possible. We just missed out on our personal best. That would have been an improved fast lap of the race. But I don't think my lap's going to get beaten. I really don't. I think our lap was so good we're going to make it happen. But here we go, on the straight. We're going to go down the inside of Verstappen. Get it slowed down. And up into the lead we go. Right then, 2 laps to go. I've got 0.5 extra bit of fuel. Let's just push this lap absolutely flat out and stretch Verstappen and see what he's got in the tank. This is it. It's time to strike. Very tardy here. Striking with the tyre grip a bit. Last lap of the race. Let's turn the engine up here and give it everything. Verstappen will have the RS now, but I think I'm okay. I don't think he's close enough. He is going for it. The engine's turned up. You can see how much he's gaining on me, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going to adjust the brake bias here to the rear a little bit because I'm locking up. Let's bring this one home. I think we can do it. Just got to watch it now in the back straight. And also I'm still in that final warning for, track corner cutting and also extending. Oh, then here we go. Also it's back straight. Verstappen is close. He's stuck with me the entire middle sector. We've got the engine at full power here. I'm about to run out of rich mix. But it is enough and we stay in front. No mistakes now, please. Nice entirely through here. Let's not throw it away. Looks like Russell pick up the fast lap of the race as well, which I did not expect, considering that was on lap 8 in the first stint. Easy does it through there. Verstappen's not close enough. And that's it. His last chance really to get past vanishes. And somehow, for the second time this season, we're going to pick up a shock win here at Russia. Get in. What a race.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
It's been coming for a while, this one. What an excellent win for Williams. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Williams have put in an incredible performance out on the track today. I'm glad all the hard work of theirs has finally paid off.
Things are looking up after last week, aren't they? Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? We all underestimated you, didn't we? Great. Well, that's everything.
Right, so looking at the final race results, we pick up our second race win of the season, and that was definitely not on the cards. I didn't see it happening, to be honest. I knew the pace was good, but my race pace traditionally hasn't been great around here. We did struggle a little bit, and unfortunately for us, Hamilton did snatch the fastest lap on the last lap away from us by literally less than a tenth, but it is what it is. It's still a great race, and 25 points for us for the second time this season is absolutely what we needed. Considering Pierre Gasly finished P5, that is great for the championship. Max Verstappen P2, Hamilton third, Bottas fourth, Gasly fifth, Charles Leclerc, the highest Ferrari, and only P6. A disappointing race for the guys in red. Sergio Perez P7, Alex Albon 8th, with Ricciardo 9th and Sainz scoring the final point here today. And then missing out the points we have Kvyat, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Kubica, Hülkenberg, Norris, Stroll, Grosjean and Giovinazzi, with Sebastian Vettel retiring from the Russian Grand Prix, just like the real-life Grand Prix not too long ago. But in terms of the standings after that race, we are currently 6th place, but 5 points behind Charles Leclerc, and we've got nearly 30 points on Gasly here. And we're 16 points behind Sebastian Vettel, so it's not over yet, and it could change. The car could still improve a bit, but having said that, if we finish 6th, I would still be happy. But there is a top 4, top 3 still in our sights, and I think it's still achievable. It depends on the upgrades, but as you guys know, we're not going to invest in upgrading at the moment. We are going to focus on saving points to purchase and protect all the upgrades for next season with the regulation change. So that could be quite tricky. In terms of the constructors, though, if we scroll over, you can see Red Bull overtake Ferrari for 2nd place, and we are consolidating that P4. And I reckon 1 or 2 more races and we might be okay, and we might be home and dry. Up next, it is Suzuka though, one of my favourite ones on the entire calendar, and I cannot wait to go around there in the Williams. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode, and if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on the video, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me. And also finally guys, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.